Hello, welcome back to the Atomic Cast, episode 2. We're here. So it is myself, Tom, here again. Hello, and I'm joined by Ross.
How's it going?
Hi, Ross.
Hello.
Lee was meant to be here today, but unfortunately, just had to dash out at the last minute. So he might pop up, he might not. Who knows? He might send us across this thing. But yeah. So before we jump into anything, just quickly, today our main topic, as you've probably already seen, is that we're going to be ranking the top 5 heroes of the forces of good. Points for points, kind of, bang for your buck heroes, that kind of thing. Not just the best, because obviously that's a different list. Ross is looking a bit like shifty eyed, like, ooh. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, what have we been up to over the last week or so since our last episode went out? Ross, what have you been up to?
Not a lot really, just been visiting family, getting drunk, opening presents, eating foods. Luckily I haven't got to go back to work yet, so hopefully I might get some time to do some gaming this week. I know I've got doing something with my dad on this coming Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. They put like a big Christmas game on for the historical games that he does, so I'll be going on to that for a bit of fun. And then hopefully I might be able to do something over the weekend if people are free. But yeah, other than that, just seeing family, catching up with people I haven't seen for a while. Just having a good time.
Nice. So yeah, obviously it was Christmas last week. So yeah, same really. I've got a lot of things. I got this cool guy that I've been having to play with. This little dude, little 40k model. He's gonna look like this eventually, I think.
Christmas.
It's just really cool. Yeah, it's just because it's a shame because you always get these Christmas dudes after Christmas. But I'll have him for next year. And it's the same with it. Got a cool little dude.
Nice.
But yeah, should be good. And lots of 3D printed stuff as well, for some terrain and things.
Well, funnily enough, I got one of my best mates bought me a Lord of the Rings miniature. And funny enough, I was on the last video when we were talking about what our plans are for next year, what we're going to do. And I mentioned the Rise of the Necromancer Legendary Legion. Without saying anything to him or anything like that, he bought me the Necromancer for my Christmas. And I was like, oh my God, what a buy.
See, I'm sad he's not here because I was going to show him these, but hopefully you'll see him later. But I've got...
Oh, very nice.
He's got a little hammer to go on there, a little plinth to stand on. Like, he's like the size of my head.
I was going to say, he's pretty big.
Yeah. And then a whole bunch of like interiors for some dwarven sections. So hopefully I'll get a little board up for Lee and his little dwarfs to play on, which would be quite cool. So hopefully he watches it. This is them. And Percy.
Oh, nice.
It's a running thing in our house, but you always end up with some form of obscure Percy Peak product. Don't know why, but brilliant. So yeah, that's been the last week or so. I haven't had time for much hobby and stuff because we've had the family here, but it's been good. Right, shall we crack on? Shall we dive into it? Our top 5 good heroes in Middle Earth. First of all, there's a few that we wanted to kind of like quickly mention that didn't quite make the cut, which might be some spoilers for later on. So I've got a little list here of ones that didn't quite make the cut. So I've got the Master of Lake Town for all of his buffs that he does to troops. He's like 50 points, but he makes your entire army just instantly better. Chuck Alfred alongside him as well, and it's like 70 points, but your entire army is now fight 4, 12-inch banner. Like, you've got it for 6 turns. Oh, it's the same. Eristor is just a super cheap striking. He's got those daggers with the re-rolling wounds. Like, he's just I love him. I love him.
So good.
Círdan, spellcasting is amazing. And again, dirt cheap. He's just Floy and his abilities to just go no.
No.
And you can see some of the guys later on the list, he just instantly cancels what they do. And he's great for that.
Yeah.
However, it's really situational. And then Helm Hammerhand in his Legendary Legion is just insane. But again, it's not too difficult to like, you can stop it. So he didn't quite make the cut. But yeah, any from you that didn't quite make it there?
Madrill didn't quite
Madrill.
get it there for me. One of the reasons why he nearly went on is just for the cost of his points, 55 points with 3 might.
Yeah.
And basically like the profile of captain with decent shooting. So I think it's just that cost of him being so cheap and just having that 1 extra point of might, and obviously the reinforcements, the +1s, obviously that pain in the arse maelstrom that you get. I just thought it was really, really worth it.
3 might, much. Maelstrom buffs, massive.
Essentially. Yeah. So another one, I can't even remember what I said now. A few of the Ministerial ones, I nearly put Ingold on there just because of his ability to not have to back away. Defense 8, got defense as well, and the strike. Again,
Forlong, you said earlier.
Points. And Forlong, yeah. Obviously, if you just counting the Warhorn that he's got is 30 points. That's 50 points again for a 3 might hero. 26, strength 5, supporting. Can't really go wrong with him. So that was my other one. Nearly made it. Only about 5th. They would have been the 5th. They wouldn't have been any higher than that. But
they're just kind of deflecting.
Nearly made that 5th spot, but yeah.
And to be honest, some of them might have put I've never used Kirdan. I don't think I've ever actually seen him physically on a table.
All right.
He might be up there more if I had. Same with Floy. I don't know. So this is going to be our lists. A lot of these are going to be based for me as well, things that I've seen. I know what they do. I know how good they are. There might be some things that I've just never seen them, to be honest. So I might have just completely missed them off. I assume it's the same kind of for you.
I went through and I just I gave myself a big list of the best, and then I picked out more better around the points value and what you get for your points and whether they're really worth the points. And then it was basically just looking at them in pairs and just knocking them off. So I picked 2 and be which of the 2 would I take? Well, I'll take that one. And it's an elimination thing for me. So, and then I just ordered them.
Nice. Cool. So let's crack on first of all then, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I should really have got a piece of paper up on the screen or something to write these down on. But it's all right, we'll move on. So my number 5. I've gone with Legolas, but the Halls of Thranduil Legolas, not necessarily Fellowship Legolas, but he's all right. He's all right still.
Yeah.
But the Halls of Thranduil Legolas is just slightly better, in my opinion, because he's 5 points cheaper. Basically, he's 5 points cheaper, and he comes with the armor already involved, already on. So you're saving yourself another 5 points. So he's 10 points cheaper, essentially. But what you miss out on is his special rule with Gimli. And you have the option for Orc Wrist. I think that's the only differences. So you're paying 10 points to the special rule Gimli, which, there's a few lists where you use that all the time, but the rest of the time you don't. Sorry, I'm just going to put that down. Probably. And then what you get from Legolas is just if you've never played against Legolas or you never played with him, his ability to just completely shut down from the opposite side of the board, whatever you're trying to do, and go, oh, that hero's horse, gone. Oh, that guy you're hiding in the corner, gone. Him on his own just makes you have to gun to him. People put in ally and warbands of archers and things to try to do that, but putting Legolas on the table on his own just goes, cool, you've got to come to me, because Legolas will take out whatever you've got. You've got the Shadow Lord on edge. You don't care. I'll take you to him. Legolas, 2 up here, straight for the Shadow Lord's thing, onto the Shadow Lord himself. You've got all your might to use if you want to wound it. Get him gone, done. GG. And
Exactly.
he's dead cheap. He's what, 95 points like that.
95 points. Yeah, I think he
Give
goes
him a
up to
horse. Give him Orc Christ if you want.
110, 115. He can go up to because he's got the cloak as well that you can buy, which is obviously optional. The
Yes.
cloak,
So
Orcust, and the horse.
all of which are 10.
Oh, well,
Yeah. So he goes up to 125 if you really kit him out. But still. Yeah, that's my number 5. Leggy, Falls of Frandril.
interesting. Good choice. Definitely a good choice. So for me, my number 5 was Amir. As my number 5. I think again it's sort of like I was trying to compare him to other heroes. He's a bit like, well, he can potentially be a bit like Emery Hill, just without all the supporting buffs, especially with the rule where if Theoden or Eowyn die, obviously he gets the +1 to wound.
Yeah.
But obviously with the army bonus, you're looking at with him kitted out, you're looking at 3 attacks, potentially 4, strength 5, with a throwing spear going in beforehand, 3s all across, and just being an absolute monster, really. Again, obviously looking at trying to get that +1 to wounds. If I was doing it, obviously with Theoden most likely being your leader, it would probably be the case that if I was to run it, I would run it with Amir being the leader, and having like Eowyn just as like a cheap 40 point throwaway, essentially, which it's only 40 points you could essentially do, really. And then yeah, it's just then you got to play him sensibly, because obviously you'll have to keep charging with that special rule. But yeah, Amir is definitely one of the top just all out combat heroes,
He's just
in
an
my
absolute
opinion.
wrecking ball, isn't he?
Yeah, so I definitely think he deserves top 5, in my opinion. So yeah.
So Lee has just messaged me with his list as well, so we can talk about that. He's given me no other details other than just a name, so I'll have to work out why. So his first one is just Frame. I assume he doesn't mean Frame the Broken, although Frame the Broken is fantastic fun. Points for points. But yeah, just Frame. Just Frame.
Yeah, I can see why. He's got the board wide stand fast, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember what he has.
I honestly, I don't know what he does.
I'm pretty sure he's like a strength 4, 5, fight 4, 5 or 6. I can't remember. I think he can potentially. He has like the Ring of Durin as well. He can re-roll.
Oh, is he just one of those just ones that just doesn't die?
Yeah, very high defense.
I'm trying to put it up now. I'll look up his next. Actually, I know his next couple. It's all right. That's okay. But yeah, Frame is Lee's pick. Feel free to tell him he's wrong. Feel free to tell him he's right. Who knows?
I think points wise he's quite cheap as well. I think he's like 120, 130, around about that.
I think a lot of the dwarf ones are, they're annoyingly cheap. I always kind of question him, like, are you sure you can have these 2 heroes? He's like, yeah, they're only this many points. I can't even find Friend. All the dwarfs are in like 20 different lists. I don't know. I give up.
I can see.
Right, no, I found him there. He's 120 points. He is fight 6, strength 4, defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 6, 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate. Arm wide stand past, including heroes. Rerolls all fail to wound rolls when making straight against Azog, or any of Azog's army. That's situational, isn't it? Yeah. Strike and defense. No, yeah, he's a bit of a monster, and he's got a Master Forge 2-handed weapon as well. Yeah, so yeah,
2-handed burly essentially, isn't it? So
fair enough.
Definitely stick around. Definitely sticks around. I think as well. I think he's the only hero other than Dane who has 3 fate dwarf wise.
I think so. Yes.
Other than obviously potentially Thorin's company, but
young foreign and
So yeah, he's probably one of the top end dwarves, which obviously, as we know, He loves dwarfs, you know.
He does love a dwarf, I've heard.
He does love a dwarf.
Okay, brilliant. That's enough dwarfs for now. Blooming dwarfs. I thought we'd got rid of it by kicking Lee
I
out.
know.
So my number 4. You mentioned it a second ago. I've gone for Emery Hill.
Aha.
It will come as absolutely no surprise to anyone that I love Emery Hill. I use the fiefdoms a lot. They're my baby. Emory Hill, if you didn't know, he's fight 6, he's strength 4, he's defense 7, he's got 3 attacks, he's got 3 wounds, he's courage 6, he's got 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate. He's only 140 points. He's got resolve, strike, strength, and defense. Like, what more could you possibly want in life? You put him on an armored horse and give him a lance, which you always do. So he's 160 points, which is fairly expensive.
Yeah.
But he's got a 12-inch stand fast. That's nice. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Got a 12-inch banner, mate.
I know. Ridiculous.
12-inch banner.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know how many points I'd pay for a 12-inch banner on its own, but it's an awful lot. Like, just an awful lot.
I know.
At least 70 points I would pay, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think Boromir's Banner of Ministeria, if that's 40, that's 6 inches, plus it has extra benefits. So if you're doubling that without it, then yeah, you are looking sort of like 60, 70 points there.
So now you're telling me I can get Emery Hill for 100 points with an armored horse and a lance.
Essentially.
And he's fight 6. And then he's got his 3-inch, you will get +1 fight around me bubble, which then turns his entire army into an absolute unit. Oh, I love him. I love him so much. And the amount of times I've been playing games with people just gone, what do you mean he's a 12-inch banner?
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like, it's just a 12-inch banner. Like, where? He hasn't even got a banner. I know, but 12-inch banner, Emery Hill. I love it. It winds people up. And those two things make him a solid number 4.
I think what's quite interesting about Emery Hill as well is, despite the fact that he's 160 points, because of the bonuses and everything that he does to your army, I'm quite happily playing him at lower points armies.
Oh yeah.
Like I would happily chuck him in at 450, 500.
Yeah.
Happily, without batting an eyelid, really. Whereas some, you'd be like, too expensive. But the amount of buffs that you get with him is just, he's just good in every situation, every point level. So I think that's so flexible and easy to just put in. What makes him really good as well.
Nice. All right, who is your number 4?
So my number 4 is your previous number 5. I put Legolas.
Hey, look at that.
I put Legolas. Yeah, same as you in Mirkwood Army. I put him at number 4. I think again, it's that sniper ability. It's he's so annoying when you've got your lead, especially he's not quite as effective against good armies, but against evil armies where the majority of your heroes and all that sort of stuff are like 2, 3 wounds and 1 fate. As soon as you muck up that fate, they're just dead. It's just ridiculous. And again, I think
I didn't mention it earlier, but he can shoot into combat.
Yeah.
1 or 2 up. He can shoot into combat. He's a good hero. He's not meant to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
He's so cheap as well. Ridiculously cheap for what he can do.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Legolas was my number 4.
Nice. I like that we're agreeing on something. That's filled with some sense of positivity about it. I feel like I'm not completely wrong. So, or we're both wrong. One of the two.
Yeah. We'll find
Lee,
out in the comments.
his number 4 is another dwarf. His number 4 that he sent in is Foreign King Under the Mountain. Who again,
okay.
I'm gonna have to research what Foreign King Under the Mountain. Here he is. So he is 115 points. He is fight 6. He's strength 4, defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and 6 courage, with 3 might, 3 will, and 1 fate. Because dwarfs. Strike, strength, challenge, and resolve. So a decent. that's to be honest, a fairly mediocre actually range of heroics. Could do with something, because you're not going to use any of them except strike really. You can chuck him on a goat. You can give him Orc Wrist for 10 points each, and then he gets a free heroic combat every fight phase.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets insane, because you stick him on a goat. So give him Orc Wrist, stick him on a goat. He's 135 points, and he's doing free heroic combats all over the place.
Yeah.
Basically, just a little wrecking ball.
Yeah, I think he's also got that Dubakar as well, whatever it is. It's like a banner to heroes and all that sort of thing.
That's
not the same one.
I think that's in a certain army. He gets it.
It's
the Erebor Reclaimed Army Boat or something, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah. But yeah,
yes.
you can have that again.
All friendly.
I know. Lee, obviously, playing Lee previously, he likes to have him on. Yeah, I know Lee previously. Obviously, he likes to have him on a goat.
He loves to have him on a goat.
So obviously, you've got the free heroic combat. Obviously the charge, you get the knockdown bonus, essentially like twice. But yeah, pretty solid. Pretty solid. Again, fairly cheap for what he can do, only 120 points ish. Obviously base profile. So yeah, Hero of Legend as well, I think. So
yes, Hero Legend as well. Yeah, cool. And he gets that special rule against Azog where he can reroll all failed wounds. He's the only thing in the last year that's killed my Goblin King.
Oh really?
Yeah, the only thing. He heroic combated into him and then just dead because Orc Wrist.
Yeah, I'm guessing Orc Wrist.
Yeah, but oh well. So nice. On to my number 3, and this is an interesting one. Because I've picked a dwarf here.
Oh, have you?
But my dwarf doesn't appear on these lists. I'm interested by it.
Ooh.
I have picked, and I want to say this is a named hero, but I'm not entirely sure. That might give a clue. I have picked. Oh no, yeah, you can have multiple of these in a list. Cool. So it is the King's Champion.
Okay.
And you can have multiple King's Champions in your list. It does say that at the top, the colour D one. So the reason I picked the King's Champion is for similar reasons, but I like Emery Hill. He is 140 points, but for those 140 points, you get the King's Champion and 2 Heralds.
Yeah.
So your 2 Heralds are they can use their fate and stuff to use it on a King's Champion, so they can keep him alive if you want to. But they're 2 banner bearers, and they're 2 dwarf banner bearers, so they're defense 7 at a minimum with 2 fate each, and they have a banner. So 2 banners, 25 points. Chuck them on a model, so it's 35 points. That's 70 points worth of banner you're getting baked into this cost.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got fate points on them as well. GW likes to price fate to 5 points each or so. That's what the ring wraith set precedence for. So now you're saying you've got 80 points of banner bearer, then 90 points of banner bearer baked into this King's Champion thing, which means that the King's Champion is 50 points if you use that maths.
Yeah.
Crazy. And for 50 points, what you get is a fight 6, strength 5, defense 7, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 5, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate, but he can use the Herald's fate if he wants to. He's got strike, he's got strength, and he's then got his special rule with the Heralds where if they're both, one is in base contact, he gets +1 to his defense, 2 in base contact, he gets 2 to his defense. So now you've got yourself a strength 5, defense 9, 3 attack model with strike, which is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Basically. And then you can just split the banners off if you want to. So you've got 2 banners across your line. You can keep one there and keep the buffs because you still get to defense 8. And you can still use that banner's fate, and you can move them out, put another banner in. They're just so good. Yeah, and then those banners have will as well. They've got a point of will. So they can resist spells that would normally just go like a shatter, or a I've forgotten the word for moving ones, compel, where you compel him out of the way. Yeah, they've got one will to resist them. Like, oh, so good. And you can have multiple of these boys. Like, oh, they're great, mate. They're great.
They are very good. They are very,
there's a
very
reason
good.
they pop up in so many Khazad-dûm lists. And it pains me a little bit because I don't see that many really nicely converted ones. But I look at that description of them, and I feel like you could do some really awesome champion descriptions, like conversions.
Yeah.
Just get some absolute mad berserker lad with 2 axes, convert it up. But yeah, so that's my number 3, King's
Solid
Champion.
Solid choice.
Who have you got in there?
So for my number 3 is Emery Hill.
Hey, this is going well. This
it is going well. Because they're disagreeing with each other. But no, yeah, I think what starts me for my top 3 is again what you need to be in the top 3 for me is you can't just be a really good hero that can just solo go off and do what he wants to do. He has to then be able to make your army better. And it's the making your army better that sort of, makes you, from A
better.
to S, as it were. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you do have heroes like that. I mean, a few sort of potential new starters or newer people to the game will think, oh, why isn't Aragon on there? Or what have you. For me, he's not on there. Spoilers.
Or me.
Again, there we go. So, and he wasn't even close to being picked. And he's, I don't know how much points.
240, I think.
Exactly. And he's just too much for me on the side of soloing and doing awesome stuff by himself and just basically being a 12-inch banner, and that's it. So I think it's a lot more valuable. Is he 6 or is he 12?
He's 6, either direction. Emery Hill is the only 12-inch banner.
Oh, I thought he was 12. But yeah, well there you go. It's even worse. So, but yeah, he's too much of a solo-y dude. I mean, Amir, he is a solo-y dude, but for the points cost, I think he's the best you can, in my opinion, the best of the bunch that you could pick.
Yeah,
being how cheap he is. So
that's my list of guys who didn't quite make it. So people like Eristor and Helm, where they're just really, really good on their own. I mean, Helm's got his he gets a +1 fight, but he stole from Fairden in the Legendary Legion, which is great, and he gets his might and stuff. But he's the same where it's just him, and you've got to throw him in, and you've got to be doing stuff with him. And the same with Eristor, he's really good at on his own points, but he can take out stuff bigger than him quite happily. Yeah. But he doesn't make all of my guys up here, same as you, just make everything they come with banners and buffs and doing stuff.
Yeah. And then obviously you got the polar opposite. You got all those that literally just supporting, i.e. Master of Lake Town, your Círdan, however you want to say it.
So hard.
Círdan. It's completely on the opposite ends. It's really good supporting, buffing. But if you misplace them or you do anything wrong and they get trampled and squished, it's a bit annoying really. So yeah, it's finding that balance.
Nice. So your number 3 was, sorry, just remind me, it was
Emery Hill.
Emery Hill, my baby. Lee's number 3 is Frandy. Big Papa Franduil. So again, he's actually given us at least one word of description for this one, which is in brackets. He's written versatile, which is entirely correct. You can build Frandy in so many different ways. You can have him bare bones. He's about 100 points. You just get a nice little support dude, like we're saying, because he's got, what is he? He's is it 3-inch +1 to wounds?
3-inch +1 to wounds, and then with other people like the Palace Guards and all that sort of stuff, I think they get a bump to their fight value as well.
+1 fight, isn't it? For the Palace Guard. Yeah. And the Palace Guard captain as well, which makes them one of the best captains in the game. Oh, that could be a fun. That's a fun episode. Best captains in the game. So yeah, and then you can like throw everything at him. So you can give him the circlet. The circlet's so good. So good. Circlet Kings.
Good. Especially in sort of late game, just completely like swings it and just turns it over. Because just instant 6. And you're just like, oh god.
He's it's one of those ones where it's right up there with one of the best pieces of war gear in the game, in my opinion. Because 25 points for 3 spells instantly cast on a 6 is just done, and no will. So even if you're paying 25 points for 3 points of will, is already just not awful. And then the fact that it instantly casts on a 6 is just amazing. Then you've got your extra sword that you can bring, which just makes him again an absolute weapon. And just he's so good. And there's various mounts and things. Loads of fun with Randy. Good job, Lee. Good pick.
Yeah, good pick.
Good pick. Cool. So we're into the top 2. Top two big guns. Now, these 2, as soon as we said this is what we're going to do, I wrote these 2 names on a piece of paper. This wasn't even a debate in my head. The only debate was which way round they went.
Okay.
That was it. So, my number 2, just going to be highly controversial, I think, is Galadriel, Lady of Light.
Okay. She didn't make my top 5. I'll say that.
Pardon?
But I can understand why.
So
she's not in my top.
She didn't in your top 5?
No.
It's not in your top 5?
Not for me.
Mate.
Not for me, no.
Oh, she was straight on the paper. All right. And now I'm going to convince you, because I had to convince Lee as well.
Okay.
Because he was like, I don't get why she's that good. And that's probably because we don't have, no one really uses her around in our little local scene, because no one really uses, at the moment, things like Angmar and stuff to death. But Lady of Light, oh god. So 130 points, right? She's fight 6. So so far all 4 of my heroes have been fight 6. Just so you know. Makes sense. She's strength 4, she's defense 3, but we'll move on. She's attack 3, wounds 3, courage 7, 3 might, 6 will, and 3 fate. And she basically has a staff of power, so she gets an extra fate an extra will every turn. But she doesn't have that as war gear. It's just a passive special rule. So again, it can't be shattered like staffs can be and things like that. She has 3 fate and she can re-roll that fate. So that's nice. And then you get to her. So she's got blinding light always up, right? So that's nice. Again, I'd pay an awful lot for that just to have it. You've got people like the Shadow Lord, who people put into Mordor list purely to have the same ability, but they've got to spend a will point every turn. Galadriel's just like, nah, blinding light up all the time. And again, that's a passive rule, not an active, which is quite nice. She's got her war aspect, so you've got -1 courage to all enemy models within 6 inches of her. She's never unarmed, and she causes terror, so she's like a little kind of mini harbinger thing. So she might be low defense, but she's got that terror with a -1 to charge her. You're using her against evil armies. She's starting to be like real spicy. Not a lot of people know that, but she's got heroic strike. There you go. As well as a heroic channeling. And then her magical powers. She's got Fortify Spirits on a 2-up. She's got Banishment on a 3-up, and she's got Instill Fear on a 4-up. Now, if you're playing against the right armies, so if you're playing against like in a good versus evil matchup, you're likely to see an awful lot of wraiths, an awful lot of spirit models. That Banishment's incredible. You've got low courage guys, which is already dropping down for -1 for that Instill Fear, which you can just move things off objectives and just generally cause a right nuisance. And then she can make all of your guys Fortify Spirits on a 2-up, just kind of stops them running away. She is an insane support character. And actually, in combat, she's still a strength 4, 3 attack, fight 6 striker on her own. So you can just throw her into combat and let her have a great time on her own. And you get all of that for 130 points. in my opinion, it is an insane bargain.
Yeah, it is a very good bargain.
But yeah, Lady of Light, love her. I just don't run armies that she allies in with because I like Emery Hill more.
I think she's White Council, isn't she?
She's White Council, yeah.
So I think that's yellow across the board, or is it
pretty much yellow with like everything? Yeah. So one of the things you see an awful lot of her is her thrown into Ministerial, because it just kind of instantly makes them like, well, you have to come to them. Yeah, she just sits there and you can't like blinding lights and has a great time. And they don't necessarily care about losing their army bonus.
Yeah,
definitely. But yeah, oh mate, she's so good.
Yeah, I can definitely see a value, especially in terms of the cost. I mean, if you just read out the profile and didn't have any cost points, I would have thought, oh, she'd probably be about like 160 points, 170 points.
Yeah.
Well, all that she can do. But the fact that she's only 130 is mad. I think the reason why I didn't pick her in my top 5 is I'm not the biggest fan of a hero from like a yellow or even a red, if we did ever play that, but from another army that would just be deployed on its own.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of a Maelstrom. So can you imagine it comes to like Maelstrom with her and you sort of roll a 1 or a 2, and then if you got to then might it, and obviously if you do get her stuck on her own, as I said, again, she's very effective against evil with obviously the -1 to courage and all that sort of thing. But a bit like Legolas and other things, when it gets to like good versus good, it's less effective.
Yeah.
And there are obviously, it's a bit weird that if she goes against another elven army, you know, if she's going against somebody like Thranduil or something like that, who's going in, you know, potentially fight 7. Again, I'm looking at worst case scenario, but even still, you got like any big hero, Emery Hills or anything like that. If any of them have got, you know, either like an elven blade or even can at least match it, is very likely she can get squished. So what's her defense?
She's defense 3.
So she's defense 3.
But she has got 3 wounds, 3 fate, and can re-roll all of those fate.
And can re-roll, yeah. So essentially, you've got at least wound her about 6 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is entirely possible.
And
you'll have like 1 turn to do it in. Otherwise, she's out of there. And like, I don't think if you've got her, you let her get in that situation. Like, there's so many ways around it.
You definitely play her, but it's definitely possible for hero, you know, if she's going against other spellcasters and things like that. I mean, there are ways around it, but it is easy to sort of try and nitpick at her and pick at her and force her to either use her might or potentially use her will at times, and doing things that you'd rather her doing other stuff, because you'll be so focused on trying to like disrupt what she's doing instead of just leaving her to like do whatever. So yeah, I think just like a solo single, you know, despite how good she is, yeah, great. But yeah, she wasn't in my top again. Didn't quite make it for me. But you know, obviously I'm gonna get slated. But there we
go. we'll see. Okay. I might be slated. I might be wrong. But yeah. Who have you gone for? Sorry, I'll let you finish having.
So my number 2.
Yeah.
Again, it feels like there's an echo, but my number 2 was Thranduil.
Hey. Nice.
Yeah. So again, it's the versatility, like you know, Lee mentioned, from going from 100 points up to 190 points. You could have him just as a support character, like I was mentioning. We were talking to Lee about making army lists. You could just sit him back with a bow, which is a 2+ on, not 3+ on, and just with your circlet and your crown, he's just there to be that bubble and that buffer, shooting here and there and using his magic, and then potentially still getting stuck in with 3 attacks. Yes, he's got less defense with no armor and all that sort of thing, but he's got 3 fate, so you're not really that worried. And then obviously you've got the bigger hero, which can take on hordes of armies and all that sort of thing. So it's I think it's just really good. I think it's just epic.
Yeah.
And he just makes his army so much more lethal with that +1 to wound. It's just a donk, really. So yeah, that's why he's my number 2.
No, he is real good. He's not made my list purely because I used him a couple of times and didn't like it. But I think I also came away from those games again. I'm pretty sure I've used Frandrel completely wrong, and I should use him like this instead.
Yeah.
But that's why he's not in mine, because of a personal vendetta. That's about it, really.
I think like you said, I think it's the circlet of crown with the crown that you can get with the magic. I think that's like the best thing he can take. I think it's just because, especially if he's mounted and he's like, even against someone like Azog or someone decent, if you're charging him and he goes, right, you're prone unless you roll a 6 for your will.
Yeah.
So, and on any average hero, you're like, oh god, okay, right, I've got to chuck 3 will, which you'd be surprised at how often you don't get the 6. And then you're burning your might as well, which, as I said, it's something I'd use more mid to late game. Hopefully they've already spent some, and then they're just, delete, gone, bye.
I think it's because the times I've used Halls of Frandra, I've used them as like a Mirkwood Ranger force. So when I've been doing that, he doesn't quite fit. And I've been saying I want to put him in with some Palace Guards as like a little like wall for the Rangers to bounce around.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I just don't like elves. But, Lee's number 2 is only a surprise to me in that he's not number 1. And that is Frau.
Wow.
He turns up in every one of Lee's armies ever. So Frau. Now bear in mind that Galadriel Lady of Light is 130 points. Frau is 120 points. So Frau is fight 6. That's a surprise. They're all fight 6. Strength 4, defense 9. 9. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 6, 3 might, 3 will, and 1 fate. So you're not killing him, basically. Because that 1 fate, he has the Arkenstone, so he passes his fate on a 3+, and on a 4+, he doesn't actually expend the fate to cast it. So that means he doesn't also give up the VPs for wounding a leader for the fate point on a leader, because he doesn't expend the fate. If it says he gets the fate back, you would, but because he doesn't expend it, he doesn't give up that point. So he's a hero legend, which means he's going to be a leader. He's going to be a defense 9 with magic fate forever leader, which is great to have. He's got strike, strength, and challenge. If you had defense in there as well, oh gosh, things are my wet dreams. He can give you the Guardians of King upgrade for +1 point, which is puts what to strength 4. Then it can piercing strike and be strength 5, which is insane. And he's got the Ring of Durin in theory, which lets you reroll a priority roll. So he is a little unit by himself, basically. And then in his army bonus, he's a 6-inch banner.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's pretty solid. My only reason why I didn't pick him is because I forgot he existed. Otherwise he'd have at least in the conversation. But it's just he's one of those where he's just an immovable force. So he just doesn't die. Yeah. It's really, really irritating. But you don't notice that very often. But it just wins you games. It's just really irritating. And like we said earlier, he's got that 6-inch banner effect where he just kind of keeps supporting all your troops as well. It's lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think again, I did think of him. I did see him. I did briefly look over the dwarf lists and all that sort of thing. And like you said, his main thing going for him is just that you can't kill him. So obviously, looking in a competitive sense, I mean that's denying the whole wound your leader, kill your leader sort of thing, and denying points that way. And obviously, you as your opponent, if you're seeing Thrall or even dwarves in general, you're just like, oh well, I'm not even going to attempt to really go for that. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time. Really, it's never going to happen. But yeah, I think again, it's great that you can do that, but it's not enough. There are heroes that do so much more for that, and obviously there are the weaknesses that magic will definitely be one of them that would be good against. I think the Arkenstone is an active rule. Potentially.
It is a passive,
So, it is a passive.
but
Okay,
it is.
That's not
And
too.
it's
That is better.
it is Wargear Day.
So you could get it. You could get that shattered.
Good. Or Floyd.
By a black. Yeah, or Floyd just turning it off. Yeah, you don't get that. But yeah, I think just the fact that he doesn't die isn't enough for me. I mean, yes, he's great. He's a 6-inch banner, but yeah, I'd rather have a bit more than that. But yeah, still solid.
And you've got to keep your army bonus to get that 6-inch banner.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also just a 6-inch banner. Doesn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Unlike my number one, the single greatest person of all time, it's Banner Boromir.
I'm just going to say it now. Yeah, Boromir was my number one.
I had a funny feeling he hadn't turned up, so I assumed he was going to be yours as well. Yeah, Banner Boromir. I love him. I love him so much. So you give him a banner, so he's 200 points. Now you're probably going to give him a shield at least as well, so it's 205 points. Maybe you give him a horse, 215 points. You probably give him a horse, let's be honest. So he's 215 points, which is an awful lot. By far and away my most expensive hero on this list. But what a guy. What a guy. He's fight 6, like everyone. If you give him a banner, he's fight 7 now, while the banner's flying. So that's great. He's strength 4. He's defense 6, 7 if you give him a shield. He's 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 6, might 6. Oh, I just love it. 3 will and 3 fate. You've then got your Horn of Gondor. So you can basically auto win fights. Again, if you're playing good versus evil, chuck him in. He's got his little horn. They have to take a courage test. If you fail a courage test, you can just strike away, kill some stuff. Amazing when you're fighting against things like trolls and stuff like that, when they've only got kind of courage 2 or 3. Then he's got the banner. Oh, what a banner. Just, it's a 6-inch banner and it's 40 points. Stop there. You've got me. I'm into it. All right. Then you've got the +1 to your fight. All right. And that 6-inch +1 to your fight turns all your Ministerial lads into kind of fight 5, D6, D7 units, because you're always going to be having some fight 4 around because you're Ministerial. Which is just amazing. Like the support he gives to the army is incredible. Him on his own is an absolute wrecking ball. Even if he's fight 7 with 6 might, which normally means you can point him at something, and that's why the 6 might is so good, because whatever happens, you can do that one key thing, but you basically go, I'm winning this. So you can go in, you're going to get that 6 on that 1 dice roll that you need. So you can win whatever you need to do. You can kill whatever you kill. If you get in, you get a lucky, you've managed to, you're fighting like I don't know, you're fighting a Balrog. You've beaten a Balrog in combat, and now you've rolled a whole load of dice, and you haven't quite got the wound you need. But you're like, I've got 6 might, so that's a wound, and that's a wound. Bam, like just little things like that where you can just go throw it all out at one go, and now get wrecked, and I love him. And the combination a Banner Boromir and Galadriel Lady of Light. Oh, it does things to me, Ross. Oh, it's so nice.
I can see why. I can see why.
You just kind of go, right, well, you can look at Boromir and you go, well, his one weakness is probably that magic can shut him off. And you go, cool, you know what? Have Galadriel. Now you can't. Like, you shut up, you go, oh, cool, here's my little, like, 6-inch blinding light. So you can't shoot me, really. I can shoot you because I've got some rangers in here or some Citadel Guard longbows. So you have to come to me. And when you do get to me, here's a Boromir. I've got my Horde of Gondor. Oh, but look, Lady of Light's there. -1 courage as well. Oh, here we go. It's party time. You know, it's just oh.
Madness.
Then you chuck Denethor in there. Now you've got a ton of troops for cheap. Oh, I'm building a list, Ross. Oh,
yep.
I love them.
You'll see that in the next few weeks.
I do have the models. I just haven't actually ever run it. But soon, maybe. Who knows?
I think, I think another thing as well is the wording of the banner, and that's all models with the Gondor ruling, which includes fiefdoms as well.
Yes.
So there you are. Get the Emery Hill and get a bit of Boromir, a few knights, and I'll fight 6 instead of fight 5 with just Emery Hill. So
that's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. I really want to try at, it's got to be like 800 points plus.
Yeah.
Emery Hill, Banner Boromir, maybe chuck Forlong in there just for bants, you know.
Yeah,
and then
get those few awesome ones, you know.
Yeah, and then just a bunch of knights. Maybe a captain of Diamond in there as well. Just for that sweet, delicious fight 6 next to Emery Hill.
Yeah.
So you got fight 6, fight 6, fight 7, plus some fight 5 troops. No, fight 6 troops.
Fight 6 troops.
Fight 6 troops. Oh yeah, so the captain will be fight 7, wouldn't he? Oh no, he's not a warrior. Yeah, fight 6.
He's not a warrior. So yeah, it'd just be fight 6 across the board. Obviously, Bosco will be 7. So yeah, come on, the elves. You think you're hard enough?
And then strike, strength, defense on his heroics as well. So strike and defense, 2 of the best ones. If he had March, if Boromir or Emery Hill for that matter, if either of them had March, okay, GG. But yeah, no, that's my one downside.
We are just looking obviously at him with the banner. I mean, you can take him without the banner. I mean, that just drop him to a whole 40 points. And you can take the lance instead with the shield if you just literally want him to go in. And if you don't want to get short of points, you could just drop the banner and you still got that 6 might hero.
So if you put him on a horse with a lance and shield, that makes him 180 points. So Emery Hill on a armored horse with lance is 160 points. So they'll both be fight 6. They'll both be strength 4. They'll both be defense 7. 3 attacks, 3 wounds, same as courage 6. It's just that extra 3 might. That's all you get. But you get 3 might for 20 points. But you lose all the buffs. So I think in that instance, Emery Hill is way better just because of his built-in thing.
Yeah.
But what I do really like is Fellowship Boromir for doing that. Because he's really good for that. Because he's got only like 100 points, isn't he? Something like that. And if you're running...
Yes. With the shield, I think he's 105.
Yeah. If you're running a low points army and you want 6 might, chuck Boromir in there, stick him on a horse and give him a shield. You'll have a great time. Cool. Lee's number 1 is Dane.
Could have won £1 million. I could have won £1 million. I could have bet that first thing. Yeah. Lee's number 1. I bet that's going to be Dane. 100%.
And I love Dane. I do love Dane. Just not that much. He is really good. He is really, really good. He was on my list at one point. I crossed him off. Fell from grace a little bit. Let me put him up here. Where are you, Danny boy? That pig's just so good. So what is he? He's 140 points, right? So he's the same base as an Emery Hill. And give him his pig, he's now 160, which makes it the same points as Boromir without the banner, right? And what you get for that is a fight 6 hero. We love a fight 6 hero. He's strength 5, defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, courage 7, 3 might, 3 will from fate. He has then got like all the heroics: resolve, march, strike, strength, and challenge. The pig is defense 6, 2 wounds. So he's got a pig you're not really going to kind of pluck out from underneath him. Even Leggy's going to struggle to deal with that one. And then he's burly with a 2-handed hammer. So he's strength 5 plus 1 to wounds. He's fearless. He's got his 12-inch auto pass courage for Iron Hill dwarfs. He's just, he's so good. Bless him. I always forget about his fiery temper special rule though. So his once he's killed an enemy model, he has to keep charging. I do always forget about that. I'll have to check back and make sure we've been using that properly. And then he's got his fearsome charge where he causes terror, so you can charge him into he causes terror when he charges, so you can throw him into a big thing and hope that he no one counter charges him, which is quite nice. And then if he wins a dual roll but doesn't kill his opponent, he can pick an enemy man-sized unit, roll a d6 and a 5 up, he knocks it to the ground, which is good if he does lose his pig and he's there, he can kind of sit there and strike up and kind of hold his ground a little bit and still be knocking people over and charging into them, just generally being a right pain in the backside. And then he gets his Master of Battle 4 up with his Ironfulness, which is great. Yeah, have you got any thoughts on Dane? Oh. I can't hear what you're saying.
He's too much of a one-man army combat, get in there and kill stuff on my own sort of hero. And I like my heroes to be able to give back to my army and make my army better, as well as just being able to kill everything that is like in front of him. I need that.
Yes.
But for the best in the game, you need that support element. So
I feel like he needs some kind of like built-in banner or something like that to just really set him apart.
Yeah.
But yes, as a combat monster, he is insane.
One of the best.
Yeah, right.
The name there and all that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, comfortably.
So, again, I think the only reason why I've put Amir ahead of him is because just Amir is so much cheaper, and as I said, with the bonuses that if you get all the bonuses, you basically have the same sort of damage output as Dane almost, with the strength 5 plus 1 to wound as well if you're charging, and he's 120 points or something like that. So yeah, that's why he's not quite up there for me.
Yes, same. He's just I mean, like I said, I had him on his list. I ended up dropping him for Leggy just for like the versatility and the range threat and stuff. And for the almost half the cost, by the time you put things on him. But yeah, cool. So that's our list. So just a quick recap. For me, I had my number 1 was Boromir with his banner. Number 2 was Galadriel, Lady of Light. Number 3 was King's Champion. Number 4 was Emery Hill. And number 5 was Legolas from the Halls of Thranduil. Ross, what was your top 5, sir?
So top 5. So first for me was Boromir with his banner, like you. Second was Thranduil. Third was Emery Hill. Fourth was Legolas from the Halls of Thranduil army. And then number 5 was Amir.
Nice. And Lee's was first was Dane Ironfoot. Second was Frau. Third was Thranduil. Fourth was Foreign King Under the Mountain. And fifth was Frayne. So he's got a completely different list to us too, basically. He just loves his dwarves, bless him.
Yeah, I think he's gone by his play style and what he's played with and what he thinks is good. So
well, the only one on my list I've never like played with or against. I've not actually played with or against Galadriel Lady of Light. I've still never actually seen her on a table. But I think that's just where we are in the country. I've seen her at tournaments around me. I've just never actually played against her. And I think that if you go to a lot of like the European countries and the States, she is everywhere. Mainly because they play a lot of higher point armies, I think. Whereas we tend to kind of stick around 600 or so at the moment where we are. When they go up to like 800, 1,000, she's just everywhere. And yeah. You can see why when you start kind of thinking of combos of like her and Boromir and people like that. It's just quite spicy. The rest of them, Banner Boromir, I've used loads. You see him all the time. Like I played against him loads. I played with him loads. He's always amazing. The King's Champion, I've played against quite a lot. And he's always just a pain in the backside to deal with. Emery Hill, I use him all the time, and I love him so much. And Negi's just a big disruptor, you know. We all know what he can do.
Definitely.
So yeah.
I don't think I haven't played with every single one of my picks. I've played with Thranduil like once, but that wasn't him like fully kitted out. I played Emery Hill a lot. I've played Boromir a lot. Legolas, I've played with and against a fair amount, so you know exactly what you get with him. And Amir, it's just I don't think I've actually played with him, but it's just easy to see what he's good at and just easy to compare with others.
I have, and he is very much one of those heroes. You point it at a troop that you want to die, like a warrior type dude that you want dead, and he just deads it. I'm less excited to throw him into heroes. But troops, I kind of pick, you're just going to kill 2 a turn comfortably. And if you heroic combat, you'll kill 4 a turn pretty reliably. And it doesn't matter what they are, he's going into them and they're dead. Apart from if it's an Uruk-hai banner bearer. It's the worst heroic combat I've ever done in my life, right? So charge him into 2 Uruk-hai warriors, call it heroic combat. Killed those 2 Uruk-hai warriors because he had LSR next to it as well. So he had a 6-inch banner. So drop those 2 warriors because he's on a charge. Heroic combat's into an exposed banner bearer. I'm like, this is going to be pretty cushy, right? So I fight the banner bearer. I roll kind of straight ones. I re-roll one with Harold's banner. It's like a 1 or a 2. Uruk-hai banner bearer rolls a 6. It's down to 5 banner bearer. So I can't match it. There's no way I can do anything about it. So great. Banner bearer rolls the wound against Firefoot. Anyway, source. I want to say it's Firefoot. 6. Dead horse. I'm like, cool. You know what? Have a fate. 1. All right, cool. I'll give it another fate. 2. All right, cool. Yeah. Fine. Dead horse. Whatever. Emery Hill.
That fate.
Amir. Throne Rider, any. 1. I'm Rohan, that's fine. I'll re-roll that. 1.
Oof.
Takes a strength 3 hit, whatever it is, strength 2, strength 3. 6.
Yeah.
Amir takes a
Oh.
wounds.
Yeah.
So from one of my heroic
Nice, man.
combats into an exposed banner, I've lost like Amir's horse and a wound on Amir, all his fate. Like, oh, it was just because this was late in the game as well. I was like, honestly, what a nightmare. It's the worst thing, the worst heroic combat I've ever called in my life. And it should have been a great one, but it wasn't. So yeah, that's my little anecdote about Amir. Thanks for sticking with us. You're still here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you got something useful out of it. Tell us in the comments how wrong we are about everyone, and make your case for your favorite hero. And we might jump in and defend our choices. We might not. We might just let you argue about it. Let us know if you want us to kind of cover another topic soon. Hopefully, we should have some videos coming up soon. We're going to be talking to some more of the kind of GBHL veteran crew about what the GBHL actually is, because we talk about it quite a lot, but you know, got a nice little deep dive, find out more about it, what it is, why it is, how it all works for the few people that don't know. I also want to try and talk about some more events and things, and why and like how best to approach events from our point of view, things like that. I think it'd be quite useful. But yeah, and let us know if you want us to top 5 anything, evil heroes, troop choices, captains, anything like that. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Sorry, you went completely frozen then.
Oh, did I? Oh, fantastic.
It's been
I'm
a
doing
bit
this.
dodgy. I don't know. Completely paused then for like 20 seconds.
This is that. Has it been like that throughout?
A little bit, yeah. Only like in some places.
Oh dear. Okay.
It was really good to begin with, and then like halfway through, it just started, like now and then it just sort of went down a bit. It's like
fantastic.
Hopefully it won't keep.
As other, I'm doing this from a different room in the house.
Right,
this is my living room. Normally I do it from my little like painting desk, which is just a mess. So I thought I'd do it from down here.
Right.
But yeah, the internet is not as good down here. But yeah, let us know what else you want us to do. If there's any things you'd like to see, we obviously want to do a top 5 evil heroes. Maybe top 5 captains, top 5 troops, top 5 warriors, top 5 legendary legions, top 5 anything. Maybe even a top 6 something. Who knows? Yeah, right. And if you've got any questions about the GBHL league, how it happened, why it happened, what it is, how to get into it, anything like that, chuck it down in the comments, and we'll make sure we ask them next time when we are talking to Mr. Harry Parkhill, hopefully, off of Nth Moon and Battle Games in Middle Earth fame, which should be quite nice. But brilliant.
Yeah, awesome.
Lovely. And don't forget, like, subscribe, ring the bell for the notifications, go to the website, buy your models from me. You know, all that good stuff. Lovely. And yeah, I hope you had a great Christmas and have a happy New Year. Bye.
Yeah, happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.